is where you find us on Facebook and on X.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
And now, hello Port Harcourt with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
So, doing things differently, particularly parenting. How can we become better parents? If anything you have not noticed, or you have noticed particularly in the past 3 or 5 years, is that globally, there seems to be this general consensus that parents these days are not doing enough to raise great children. But the question has to be asked, if those parents are not doing enough to raise great children, who raised them? If you claim that the baby boomers were better than the millennials raising children, then who raised them? My 2.3. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning to you, please.
Well, thank you very much, Jude. Mr. Zion from Port Harcourt.
Good morning, Zion.
Indeed, a lot of parents in this generation have failed woefully. Jude, have you gone to this, in quote now, pleasure park during the evening hours and see people's children? Have you gone to certain environment in Port Harcourt and see 16, 14, 15 years old girl having boyfriends flaunting it to your face?
Really? Not seen that.
The Bible says, train up a child in the way he should grow. Underline that word, train. Most parents don't train their children.
What Zion? Which is what
of their children.
Which is what we're talking about. Because, like I said, it's very possible that many parents are only doing what they know how to do. Many people are coming from homes of abuse. How do we then become better parents?
Those things your parents did that hurt you, as a child, don't replicate it in the life of your children.
What if they don't know is bad, Zion? What if?
No. The thing where they do you where you know good, you can't do another person. The thing they good now. No, now. And another part is what? Do what I do, not do what I say. Most parents of today is do what I say. As a father, if you're having your rainbow size, can you buy your rainbow size for your kids, for both of you to walk under the rain together? As you ask them to go and read, are you reading? As you ask them to go and sleep, are you sleeping? If you ask them not to go to birthday party for other people, are you going or you are not going? What conversation are you having? You must build this relationship of trust between you and your kids. You are the first person your kids should see as a role model. You are the first person your kids should see as a mentor. Jude, any child that does not see his father as a mentor, that father has failed. The child has no connection with the parents.
Strong. That's very strong. That's a very strong comment to make, Zion.
That is it. By the grace of God, you have told us a little bit about your experiences with your father, with your mother. You like it or not, these are your role models. They have impacted something in you. Likewise, me too. Jude, you cannot correct what you are not connected to. As a father, can you correct your children? Can you correct them? Can you get them to sit down? They will sit down. What is the reason for them to sit down? You ask them to sit down. You are not using the time to sit down with them. Do you tell them 9 stories before they sleep? Or just one or more now sleep? Problem. The children will go to bed angry. They will have bad dreams. They will go to bed angry. Woke up being provoked. But if you can lie down with them a little bit, tell them, okay, I wonder how many tortoise story they are telling our children now.
I don't. That's a very good question. I don't know who's telling them the tortoise and the rabbit these days. I don't know.
They don't. Even though we may look at those stories as fiction or make-up stories, we like it or not, we are interested to hear them when our parents want to tell us that they come and tell us tortoise story. Is it not so? But those stories end up in wisdom. Parents, rise up to the occasion. We are losing our children, though. And you will say that nobody you the same school you won't go meet them. Where you own to work out for who person for them go snatch. Nobody your own. All of us as parents, this is the wake-up call. Thank you for this conversation, for this discourse. Our children will soon go to school, or they are already going to school. They are going to meet those ones you avoid, those ones you don't celebrate during Christmas, those ones who are angry. Your children will meet them. But if we come together, we will protect the interest of our children. Mr. Zion.
All right, thank you very much, Zion. We have a message here from Anonymous. It says, we do better by recognizing what was done to us and calling it out for what it is. Yes, some of it was done in ignorance, but abuse is still abuse. It is not our culture or any of those soft names people want to use to excuse their bad behavior. For some of us, the parents we were given, we might not say anything to their face because there is no point. But each time we remember what they did or allowed, we say affliction will not rise a second time as it relates to our own children. When some of us make certain decisions, it is not always because we have not forgiven our parents, but we are actually not interested in repeating a generational curse. I think there's some truth in this. I say this because listening to that video, right? A lot of people were critical about what the girl and how the girl was talking to her father, but it got me thinking. I'll tell you what came to my mind. Let me answer this call. 92.3. Hello, Potako. Good morning, please.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, this is Nigeria Info. Good morning, please.
Hello?
Yes, this is Nigeria Info. Good morning. My name is Jude. Good morning.
Okay, my name is Tony. I'm calling from Papa.
Okay, talk to us, Tony.
I'd like to contribute to the conversation.
Yes, please. Go on.
Okay, I think a little bit last time I talked about lack of effective parenting, and I agree with him. And I'd like to add, the type of parents we have, the millennial parents, most of them are not well grounded. So, we cannot give what we have. The millennial children are
well, are you talking about are you talking about millennial children or Gen Z children? Sorry, Gen Z parents.
I'm talking about the parents themselves.
Oh, okay.
Some of those who are 70s,
80s.
basically the 80s,
Yeah.
are now parents.
Yes.
Those who are born in the 80s are now parents.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of upbringing do they have? What kind of influences do they have? How are they going to their children? So you know what I'm saying? What are they going to teach their children? When they themselves don't even know the right thing to do, don't even know the right steps, they miss you.
It's a good question. That's a very good question. People are critical about the Gen Zs who are now parents, and maybe the late millennials who are now parents. But the question is, they themselves, their parents, the baby boomers, did they impart in them, particularly for us here as Nigerians? Now, you see, a few months ago, was that a year or two ago, if I'm honest, I was having a conversation with my dad, and he was telling me, look, when I was small, there were certain things my father did not do for me and to me, and it hurt me. It hurt me so bad. And then as I grew up, I just realized, well, maybe he did not know. And in all honesty, he did not know because I didn't tell him. And even if I didn't tell him, I was angry that he couldn't even see me. And so that's why I talk to you. And that touched me. He hit, you know, parents know how to, wriggle something out of their children. And that's why I'm talking to you, my son. There are certain things that, if my father had done, maybe I would not have been like this. What I heard in that child's voice, in that young lady's voice late last night, stirred the same emotion. That the child was basically asking the father, did you know that this thing was not bad? Oh, sorry, that this thing was not good. And you let them do this to me? Did you know? And her father's response was, that's what happens everywhere. But, I could tell, once again, I'm not here to criticize how the daughter was trying to question her father or how the father responded. But what the child was trying to say is, why did you not protect me? Is it that you did not know that this was wrong? Once again, these were cultural practices. And it got me thinking, what are the other things that some of you as parents are doing right now? And what are the things that you are afraid to do that you should do? Once again, they are your children. Yes, it's good that they should be your friends. Don't get me wrong. I'm only learning. I'm not a father yet. It's good that they should be your friends. But the first thing above everything is they are your children. You are their parent. Please, when we come back, we'll look at the definition of a parent. Hello, Port Harcourt. not here to tell you that I have the answers. It's a question I'm asking, and I'm basing this question off an interaction that got me late last night. We were meant to have something different, but the guest unfortunately had to back out. Now, talking about breaking tradition, and my question is, how can parents become better to their children? Apparently, there's a tradition of doing things, parenting a certain type of way. We often hear, and I'm very sure some of you are going to call in very shortly and say, oh, we are Africans. We have a very interesting way, a very particular way of doing certain things. It's not everything that we should change. Agreed. No one's saying it should be a total overhaul. But even in the West, even in the East, and even in the Antarctic, I'm very sure people at some point in time have said, well, we were used to doing something like this. Maybe we should try something different. And how do you know if something is good? If you don't get to access, the results. How can you say, oh, this is bad or it's not great if you don't give it time to, as it were, show the fruits? As the saying goes, by their fruits you shall know them. If you look at the society right now with people making comments as to how young parents are, managing their children, and one phrase I keep hearing, or one sentence I keep seeing online is, who raised these children? In fact, there is a joke. Now, somebody said in a letter to God, said, God, the children you made are having children. It's dangerous. And we all laughed. But there was so much truth in that. Some people are children of abusive homes and marriages. Some people don't even know that they are living with post-traumatic stress disorder. It's PTSD. And some of those people, some of them likely listen to us, are either having children or about to have children. So how do we break this tradition? How can parents, modern day parents, become better to their children? We see them on social media. Oh, the child comes back and says, oh, that's a wonderful father, that's a wonderful man. Men, take note. Nigerian men, take note. Nigerian mothers, take note. Everybody likes all those very feel-good videos. But let's be honest. How many of you have feel-good homes?
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
And now, hello Port Harcourt with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
017-923-0003, 0817923-0007. Please, as always, turn down the volume of your radio set when you call in so we can have a great conversation with you. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you'll find us on Facebook and on X. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. The question I'm asking you is breaking tradition. How can parents become better to their children? 92.3. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning to you, please. Hello. Good morning.
Okay, this is Ola George calling from LMS.
Good morning, George. Welcome, please.
Yeah. Okay. We were talking about tradition.
Breaking.
And these are the same traditions that have enslaved us for years. That by virtue of civilization, let me not say Christianity is something else, but by virtue of civilization and exposure, we have come to realize ourselves. Now, most of those who are talking about preserving some culture, what are those cultures that we are preserving? Let me be specific.
Hello, George. Hello, George. Oh, dear. Hello, George. Okay.
You are gone. You just disappear and go. Nobody sees you again. It's like your own rapture just take place. So tell me what is in that culture to preserve. Tell me why I will go and wear that thing, enter the shrine, wear that thing and come out. Once my leg touch any water that connects to the river direct, I am gone. And then somebody just tell me it's some kind of culture. So let's be more concerned about culture that promotes us, not the one that drags us backwards. Culture that brings darkness, not culture that produces light. Thank you.
You we should talk about culture that produces light, not darkness. I think he got that mixed up. Okay, all right. Messages now 009-030-6416. Good morning, Jude. Eric here again says until we start to speak more openly and honestly about parenting and what parents are doing and also what children are going through, we still have a long way to go. Many Nigerian parents, I will go as far as saying most Nigerian parents are abusive towards their children. We're not ready for this conversation. Really? Abusive? 90.3, good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt.
Good morning.
Good morning, please.
Okay, my name is John.
Good morning, John. Can you turn off your radio set or step away from the radio?
Is it better now?
Okay, all right, good. This is much better. Let's have you join
All
us.
right, so let me just say two things. First, concerning parenting, I believe the job of parents is first to protect the children, is paramount, and then secondly to actually teach them values, the necessary values that will allow them to live as proper citizens. And in that regard, I think the young parents in the past was actually doing quite a good job. How they went about it may be the question. But then, that has to do with a lot of other issues, the person's personal, the person's upbringing, the person's character, and all of that. And, a bit of it was also altered or modified by the cultural practices or the traditions in which the person grew. So I think the conversation about abuse, when I hear that, most Nigerian parents are abusive, well, I don't know how to take that because these days there are a lot of this world, the present world we live in right now is just a world of rebels. Everybody comes up with different labels for different things. Yes, I know our parents are a bit quick with the cane, but then, like, I remember this station had a conversation, it was a talk on, whether that kind of punishment.
Corporal punishment. Yes, I remember having that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a lot of people phoned to say yes, that it actually helped. If not for this, I probably would have ended up like this. And if you look at it now, right now there's a lot of issues in the society, within a particular generation. And this generation coincides with, the time when people said, no, temper down on corporal punishment. I'm not saying it is good, and to an extent. I think it should be allowed to an extent, but not in a way that becomes abusive. Because we need to. The definition is very important. You can't be talking about abusive generally without actually defining what abuse actually means, and that is a conversation that needs to be had. What exactly is abuse? Then, concerning the cultural practices, I'm a Christian, but I also don't appreciate when people generally look down on the cultures, different cultures and traditions. First of all, I know some cultures that are completely barbaric. There are certain aspects of cultures that are barbaric and should be done away with. But then people also need to understand, why were these cultural practices put in place? Was it for good? Was it for bad? Now, with the understanding that people had then, they probably thought it was for good. Science, is evolving. People have a better understanding of certain things. With better understanding comes change. Now, for those cultures that needs to be done with because we have better understanding, then those should be done away with. But generally just condemning all cultures just because of one or two cultures that are barbaric, I don't agree with it.
I share that sentiment with you, that yes, we can't just generalize, the condemnation and say, because, it's old fashioned, everything from that time is bad. But like you said, and I want to put you on the spot, right? Now you've just said that some of those things that we used to do were barbaric. Now, there are some people who have said their father never used to talk to them. Some people in this country have never had their father say, I love you, or I care for you. And we're talking about making better citizens in this country. Give me one example of something that you think we should, as parents, break away from so that we can be better with our children.
Okay, generally, for me, personally, I think Nigerians just like talk right now. Yeah, but that's a personal thing. Now, for people saying that dad never said I love you, yes, he may not have said I love you, but did he show that he loves you? Did he show it? Understand? You can't. I think it's silly to see someone that will put his life on the line for you, and then still condemn him tomorrow because he did not say I love you. There are people grew up in different times. There was a time where men felt it was not manly to tell a guy I love you. I'm also of the generation where it was somehow to hug guys.
Yeah.
I still feel, but it is what it is. It's not. It doesn't mean that the person doesn't really care. So when some of these conversations come up, parents didn't say it. Yes, they probably may not say that because of one or two influences or the way the society was at that time. But did they show it? And if they showed it, then be honest with yourself and say, yes, they actually did. They may not have done it the way I wanted, but they did it all the same.
So would you be saying that to your children now, knowing what you know? Yes, I agree with the narrative that they may have shown it, but if it were you, right, when you have children, or if you have children, are you, of that opinion? Okay, yeah, I'll be hugging my children more. I'll be more affectionate to my children.
No, I do have kids, and yes, I am. I like to be involved as much as possible in their lives.
Okay.
Yes, I do tell them. To the boy, not all the time. To the female, yes.
Why don't you tell? Why don't you tell your son I love you, my son? Why don't you tell him very often?
No, I do. No, don't get me wrong. I said I do. Okay.
Okay.
But not all the time.
Yeah.
Not okay. Let me not say not all the time. Not as much as I tell the female.
So why do you then tell the female a lot more than you tell the male? That's a good question.
Let's leave that.
Anyway, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure having a conversation with you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much. That's a great conversation. I like to have good conversations with people. All right, so let's get to the WhatsApp number 009-030-6416 009-030-6416. All right, that's where you find us on WhatsApp and on Telegram. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. We're talking about breaking tradition. How can parents become better to their children? Some people have been known to do a certain type of thing, some cultural practices, that have been there for eons. And yes, like my last caller said, well, sometimes some of these things may not be appropriate. They could actually be barbaric. If we want to pass good ideas, mold good children, so what should we be doing right now? Once again, if you haven't seen that video, it depicts a child, a young lady on the phone with her father, who's obviously African. I'm not going to say Nigerian, just African. And she was, questioning if the father knew that she underwent FGM, that's female genital mutilation. Did you know that this was going to happen to me? Did you agree? The girl was basically upset that the father, and I think the only reason why this girl was upset is because she loves her father. She was probably very close to her father. This must have broken her. Why would you let this happen to me? Was basically what the child was asking. All right, WhatsApp messages. Alaro here says, hi, good morning. I like to think that Nigerian parents largely are very decent parents. Are there a lot of lazy parents these days? Yes, and it cuts across borders, whether they are rich or they are poor. You will find some parents who are lazy, who do not pay attention to whatever their sons or their daughters are doing because they are too busy In the same vein, Jude, you also find some parents who have a poor background who will still do the same thing. Their children are always running around the place. Nobody's guiding them. I've seen parents not even care where their daughters, who are not up to 18, are at 6 p.m. in the evening. These are parents, Jude. These are not maids. These are parents. So we need to actually speak to parents to know what to do, when to do it. Nobody has the manual, but there's one thing that is very certain. If something was wrong in your past, don't pass it on to your children. Alero. If something was wrong with your past, don't pass it on to your children. That has to be the message of the day for me. Really, that has to be the message of the day. If something is wrong with your past, don't pass it on to your children. You see, there's no perfect person. Pretty much. Nobody's perfect. But, when you're dealing with your children, imagine the type of things you like to experience that you didn't experience. And it's not just about finances. 017-923-0002. 08179230003. Jude, I was initially very afraid to have children because I was like, I didn't have a good mother. I endured an envious, hyper-religious narcissist. What if I don't know how to be a good mother because I never learned? I don't want to bring any child into this world and ruin him or her. When my husband was proposing to me, one reason I actually backed out was because he said something about how I am motherly and would be a fantastic mom to our future children. I knew the proposal was coming, but I honestly couldn't make the connection between me and my mom. 92.3, hello Port Harcourt. Let's talk. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Very well. Thank you for joining us.
Okay. My name is Ernest. I'm calling from Georgia.
Good morning, Ernest.
Okay, to be very candid, I don't think that African way of raising it's abusive. I think that is the correct way to do things. Though some parents are probably they lack knowledge to know where to stop. But as to do handle kids, we are losing it right now because of the infiltration of other cultures.
Western cultures.
But let me, we are losing it greatly, and it's beginning to show in our society that the children that you see now are not being. I don't know how old you are, Jude, but if you are between 38, 40, 45, you will know that the way we were raised contributed largely to the values that we uphold today. That's the truth. That's what I believe. And I'm a Christian. I also do not believe that African culture is a bad culture or the traditions we have is bad. It's just that the African culture has been demarketed by God knows who over the years, such that we even begin to believe that our culture is terrible. There are barbaric cultures that should be done away with. But there are things I still enjoy about my culture. I tell you the truth, that are just natural way of practice that they are doing. So that's my opinion about it. I don't think they are doing bad things at all. I had a friend, sorry, I will round up.
Yes, please.
Who took his family abroad, his wife and his son, apparently, and they were in the U.S. And then he made a visit to the States, and he realized that his son had turned to something else. He couldn't even, and he wants to react. His wife told him, no, not here, you can't do that. And then he couldn't do anything. But somehow, he kept quiet and waited until towards Christmas, and he yelled the boy that they should come home. And the boy followed him. They were coming back to Nigeria, arriving in Lagos, right there at the airport, started hitting the boy and told him to call the cops. Yeah. As funny as it might sound, but I think that did it for him. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Yes, I have heard of stories like that. I'm sure some of you probably know one person or the other who, send their son home. There are videos that come, they say, just send him home. Send him home. we'll correct him, send him home. When you get to see videos of young people being rude, being disrespectful, being, catatonic even, to elders, send him back to Africa. Don't worry, we'll solve his problem. When it comes to discipline, I don't think you can fault too many African parents in that regard. But there are other aspects of raising a child or children. My 2.3. Hello, Potako. Good morning to you, please. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, please.
Okay. My name is St. George, and talking about parenting and culture, there are some healthy lifestyle from our parents that should be retained. Now, such culture, such as when you go to someone's house, you don't touch people's things based on how things are, based on how you are trained in your own house. But then some of this, my own idea, what I'm looking at is that how many of our parents realize that they made mistake? How many of them realize that they made mistake in their own upcoming? Now, the reason why you see teenagers up and down doing anyhow, and you can't even correct them. Go to the schools. The teacher can't discipline the students. My only child, only boy, only girl. You pet them, they say plantain the spoil, they say the right. And at the end of the day, things have gone bad. So when we look at all these things, you go to the church at the same time too. Not that people are not trying, not that people are not teaching, but we have abused morality for a very long time. And when everybody begins to do what? Mind their business. Those days, if I do something wrong, it's my neighbor that will visit me before my mom or my dad comes back. But these days, you try it, it is even the parents that will go and fight, even when the child is wrong. So where do we fall back to? Because if we have learned from our parents and our children did not learn anything good from us, they will pass nothing to the next generation, and indiscipline will continue to grow like that.
That's the
interesting topic, but unfortunately, I'm not sure the affected parents are even listening to radio, but they're rather listening to music on their phone.
Ouch. Ouch. That's a touchy one. It's a bit of a jab there, but it has a point. If the parents now are not doing the right thing, not teaching the children, what would those children pass on to their own children? Awante West says, good morning, presenter. Happy New Year to you. Okay, all right. This is politics. I'm sorry, your message just dropping in, so maybe from your service provider. So apologies there, because this is almost this is 5 minutes to 12, and this looks like a conversation for Andrew. All right, 92.3. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning, please.
Hello, Jude. Good morning.
Good morning, please.
Yeah, my name is OG, and I'm calling you from Roboko.
Welcome, please.
Yeah, Jude, I need us to buttress this a little bit in a space of a few seconds.
Yes, please.
Yes. The aspect of the youth right now, their fault, their moral standard is below the expectation of the society. Then how can we be able to salvage the upcoming people, the generations that are following these ones? That should be the question or anybody's interest in the society. Jude, there is a common thing going on right now on the social media that is abnormal. I was watching social media the other day. I saw two girls. People were videoing on social media. They are doing boy and girl. Two girls are doing girlfriend and boyfriend because they had issues, and one of them took it out on the social media that this one should leave her alone, that she wants to get married. This other one, he said, you will not. We die here. And do you know that it has gone viral? And up till now, people are not saying anything. Dude, and we want to correct people who are coming up, the generation that are coming. When we know that phones are being held by these small children. What I'm saying in essence, finally, Jude, the people as at now that we call the teenagers are spoiled. Let's concentrate on how to rehabilitate spoiled ones, because they are more closer to the ones that are coming up. let's leave about anything. Let's go straight back to the morals of the society. The moral of the society is decayed to the extent that we can't even say it. That is what we need to do. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. But if you say we should salvage, the young ones and leave the the teens who are already in quotes sports, it's still going to be a problem. I don't think anyone is beyond, redemption. No, there is hope. Really, there is hope. But then, my final comments. Being a parent is not easy. I am no parent. But I've been very fortunate to have several parents, apart from my biological parents, several people who have taught me things, people who have guided, people who still guide. That really is what a parent is. So, like Alera said, if you know something was wrong in your past, please don't pass it on. And I'll go as far as saying, do your best to make sure that the person who is not the worst. And sometimes, maybe as parents, we should learn to listen to our children so that they can talk to us and criticize us. It's very difficult for an African mother or father to get to hear criticism from their sons or their daughters. But maybe that's one of those things that we need to start to learn. Well, my name is Jude. Your news comes up your way in 1 minute and 20 seconds, and the sunny side of conversations after that. Cheers.